everybody, and welcome back to another riveting episode of Guild Wars 2. I'm in a weird mood this morning. My birthday was yesterday, and I'm tired. Like, I didn't even do much, so I can't really say, like, oh, I'm tired because I partied so hard, because really I didn't. So anyways, meet Kate at the Dreamer's Terrace. Okay, so we are, level 22 at this point, and so we have unlocked another portion of the story mode, which I said that I was going to start playing. Let me check my inventory real quick. I went on a spree where I was like killing the Nightmare Court in a specific area for like hours to get the achievement point, because I so desperately just wanted the achievement, because I still want to unlock the chest, and while I'm really close, I'm still falling short somehow. So but we have unlocked the next part of the story, which I said that we were going to play, because I don't want to bore you with map completion or anything like that. Our hero has changed a little bit. We might have added a few more skills. It's been a minute since I recorded, so, but you know, he's gotten some more equipment. We still have the Zenith Avenger, we still have that, 245, 259. I've been trying to play around with different like weapon placements and stuff. We still haven't gotten much equipment down here. Oh, our gathering thing's almost done. Let's see, 248, 233. But yeah, so I've been trying to like equip him and whatnot and get him ready for basically anything. While I was fighting the Nightmare Court, I got some better equipment as well. As far as like his skills go, I don't think anything's really changed. We were able to finally unlock specializations, so we did start his specialization tree in strength. Let's see, yeah, strength. We started down here with strength. And so what specializations do, as I said before, is it unlocks these down here, which gives you like passive abilities while you're in battle. You can choose between 3 different specializations at any given time. And since we started with strength, we chose strength as our first tree. So our first thing is reckless dodge and reckless impact. Damage foes at the end of your dodge roll, which means every time we do our roll, if we do run into a target, we hit them for 234 damage. Then there's Brave Stride. Your first strike when entering combat grants stability, and stability for 8 seconds. It means it cannot be knocked down, pushed back, pulled, launched, stunned, dazed, floated, sunk, feared, or taunted. So these are now new passive abilities that we have. But I just want to see the rest of the story. I want to see what's going on. So we have to meet Kate at the Dreamer's Terrace. I think we're, the last time I checked, we were meeting with Cernune. So, would you like to enter an instance where life goes? Yes, I would, because I want to see where life goes. I want to see where it takes me. Okay. Do I go in here? Yes, I do.
Cernune, it is good to see you once more within the grove.
It is hard for me to return. Each time I do, I feel more and more distant.
Let the mother shelter you. It will pass. There you are, Valiant. Come, meet Cernune.
I didn't know Cernune was so emo.
Greetings, Valiant. I want you to meet Cernune, another of the Sylvari Firstborn. Only a few Firstborn are called to wild hunts. I have the calling, so does Cernune. I believe he carries the heaviest burden of us all.
More difficult than fighting an elder dragon.
Our task is tangible, if dangerous. His is ephemeral. There may be no solution.
I'm glad to meet you, but I'm afraid we have no time for proper welcomes. There is a more immediate matter at hand.
Just before you arrived, a messenger brought news of 3 attacks by the Nightmare Court. I can aid one, Cernune another.
I'll take the third. Where do you need me to go?
They're besieging the Warden outpost of Follius Thorpe. Make your way there as quickly as possible, Valiant, and lend a hand.
Before you go, a warning. On my way to the Grove, I heard rumor that the Nightmare Court is seeking something called the Harbinger. They are determined to find it, whatever it may be, and based on that alone, we must stop them.
Understood. I'll head to Falius Thorpe right away.
Harbinger. So, alright, so we have finished that task, so now we have to go to this Falius Thorpe, wherever that is. We are still battling the Nightmare Court. See, and that's what I was confused about the last time, because when she was like, "Oh, you're gonna meet Traherne," I was really excited, but I was like, "Wait, Traherne doesn't come in until much, much, much later," and that is because you know, any other race, he does come in later. He doesn't come in until about Claw Island or something, which is about, I'd say, a good halfway point for the campaign, for the main campaign. So I was really confused because I was like, we are nowhere near the halfway point, so... But then I forgot we're playing a Sylvari and Traherne's a Sylvari, so it shouldn't surprise me that he shows up a little bit sooner. And I'm actually glad that we get to see him sooner, because he has a really great character. Alright, let's see here. So Falius Thorpe is this way. I keep hearing people outside. See, this is another reason why it's good that I completed the map, because I can just teleport wherever I need to go so I can continue the story. Now, eventually I'll have to complete the next map, and then that'll take a minute so that I know where I'm going. Yes, enter instance where life goes. But yeah, no, we're level 22, so by the time that we finish this quest, our next thing will be level 30. And then we'll have to level up to 30 to get to that point. Yeah, I'm gonna help. Ouch. I do love the great sword skills. Those are my favorite. They hit so freaking hard and it's fantastic.
Who are you? Are you another of these murderers?
Wow, you're fancy.
Calm down, I'm a friend. Who are you and what's going on?
My name is Malik. The wardens took me in. They found me injured in the forest. I was here when the outpost was attacked. The wardens said these creatures are called the Nightmare Court. They've set fire to the camp and cut down everything in their path. We're outnumbered, besieged, and most of the guard has been injured. I'm all that's left of the defense.
Let me fight with you, Malik. I know the Nightmare Court, and I'd be glad to raise arms against them.
I'll have to trust you. I have no other choice. But I warn you, the wardens are under my protection, and I will let no harm fall on them. Help me drive back these villains, quickly. We must put out the fires before they spread to the forest. The time for chatter is over. Now, we fight.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna revive the wardens. Yeah, no, the Nightmare Court, you know, at first, you know, when I first started playing, I was like, well, these don't seem like much a threat. You know, I was like, that sounds pretty dumb. I was like, all they are like freaking edgy Sylvari that just don't want to participate in the dream. But then I realized quickly how malicious they are. Like, they're no joke. Alright, so there's one. So basically we have to kill all the Nightmare Court people.
It's poisonous! I feel the adrenaline.
I clicked the multi-attack. There we go. No, Nightmare Court, depending on who it is, like, they can be tough. And that's another reason why I like to be several levels above the story missions, because they're not exactly easy. You know, especially when it comes to being revived or something. Okay. Water bucket. So there's a thing. Oh, I'm fighting the spider. So, they're looking for the Harbinger, which I assume is a weapon? I don't know.
That's all we'll say.
Your simple mind will know terror.
Oh yeah, that made me drink stuff. But I need the water bucket. Where's a water bucket? But I need a water bucket. There we go. Sylvari water buckets never look like water buckets. God damn it. I am trying to put out fires.
With the fire's out, the outpost should be able to recover.
Sorry if I'm not talking much. There's not really much I can say. I don't really know much about the Nightmare Court still. I know that, you know, there's only bits and pieces that I still understand.
By my hand.
Because the thing is like there are some Sylvari that believe that the dream shouldn't determine their lives. You know, the Sylvari are very strange creatures in that the entire time that they're waiting to be awoken, they basically get visions of their future. And it kind of sets them on this path, and some of them just don't believe that something should be predetermined.
You could die.
You know, some of them feel like that they're not allowed to really live their life as a real living creature because of this, and they become bitter towards it. So it's like, I don't know if the nightmare stems from that or what.
Tell me what you need.
You fight well, stranger. I'm grateful you came along. I hope you'll forgive my initial mistrust.
It was in the heat of battle. It's understandable. Tell me, do you know why the Nightmare Court were here? It's not like them to attack the Wardens head-on.
I do. It seems that they wanted me. I don't know why. I've never met their kind before, and I'm certainly no friend to them. They kept calling me the Harbinger. When I resisted, the courtiers took hostages. They threatened to harm them if I didn't give myself up. I was willing, but Captain Banya refused to allow it. I'm a civilian, she said, and they were wardens. I told her she was a fool, and now she's gone too.
Whatever the Nightmare Court is planning for you, I can assure you, it isn't pleasant. Come back to the Grove with me, where you'll be safe.
The Grove? Is that where your people come from?
My people? You mean the Sylvari? Malik, don't you know about the Grove?
No, I do not come from these lands. I appreciate your offer, but I won't abandon the Wardens. I'll go with you after they're safe, and the Nightmare Court's been punished. The courtiers said they were going to Joy's End.
Joy's End? Sounds lovely. I'll meet you there.
So, a Sylvari that doesn't come from the Grove, that's actually really weird. So, I don't know, I can't really say how many of you might do this, but I tend to, I feel dumb now, but anyways, I tend to like make headcanons for my characters. And I actually have a Sylvari character where she's from the Grove, but her body wandered before she was like awoken, and so she doesn't know about other Sylvari. She's never been around other Sylvari, and so whenever she meets a Sylvari, she doesn't know how to act because they're talking about, you know, their pale mother, and she's just like, who is your pale mother, and why is she pale? Like, she's one of those type people. It's really interesting because I only know that all the Sylvari come from the Pale Tree. So if he doesn't come from the Pale Tree, then where the hell did he come from? You know, is there another Pale Tree? Because it's quite possible. I mean, you know, Ventari was given this seed, you know, so it's not like impossible that he might, you know, he might not be the only one that was given such a seed. Especially when you know more about the Sylvari, because the Sylvari actually do have a deep history for being, like, one of the newest races of Tyria. And I think that's why I like Guild Wars so much, is because the lore is that expansive. And granted, you kind of gotta hunt for bits and pieces of where it all fits in between the first game and the second game, since there's a 250-year lore gap. But, you know, even with the Sylvari, with their startings with Ventari and whatnot, like, it's just amazing what you end up finding out about them. But I don't want to give away too many spoilers, because that's all saved for, like, Living World and Heart of Thorns and stuff. But yeah, no, so that's really interesting that we actually have met a Sylvari that's not within the Grove, and Now I'm really curious. I'm like, I want to know what's going on. So we are entering a new map. Now our advantage, we're heading into the Brisbane Wildlands. Our advantage of having a whole map completed so we could just travel around, well, we don't have that anymore. So let's just talk to this scout right here and let's get an idea of what this new map is going to bring us. Wait for everything to load in. My internet's been super slow lately and I don't know why.
Brisbane Wildlands is a secluded area that has drawn some unsavory attention as of late. The Nightmare Court has taken up residence in the caverns, as well as near our revered tree to the north. If you decide to travel here, be watchful at all times.
Alrighty. Alright, so we unlocked this. We know where we're supposed to go. Luckily, we don't have to go far. Brisby? Who's Brisby? Oh, it's a Skrit. I love Skrit. Skrit are adorable. They're like little rat-like people. Supposedly, they are the people that came before the Asura. It was said that there's a theory that the Asura actually evolved from the Skrit. But that's still debated. Alright, I want to learn more about you, Malik. I want to know more about you and where you come from, because you're mysterious. Tell me.
Tell me what you need. So, Valiant, you did show up after all. Tell me something. These courtiers, do they come from the same grove that you do?
We are all Sylvari, Malik, but they're of the Nightmare. I am of the Dream. You don't know the difference?
No, I've never heard of either one.
You remember the pale tree, yes?
No. Look, we need to get the wardens back to Fallius Thorpe. Here's the plan. We infiltrate and sneak the villagers out. Then, revenge.
You're strange, Malik, but I like your style. Let's go.
He doesn't
We could
steal
steal
their armor,
and
wear
wear
it
it as a disguise. Once they don't need it anymore.
Interesting. No, I'm wondering, like, maybe he was, like, man-made? Like, I know that sounds bad, but, like, there are races in Tyria that are, like, all about, you know, scientific stuff and, you know, basically, they have no morals when it comes to science. Cough, cough, the Asura. So, you know, it might actually make sense. Ooh, now we're disguised as a nightmare courtier. But it might actually make sense that maybe he was created? Maybe that's why they want him so bad, because maybe he escaped or something?
What about those new converts? How long do you give them?
Not long. I heard the Knight of Embers came for them, and she was in a mood.
The Knight of Embers.
These wardens are delicate little puffballs.
The Knight of Embers knocked him flat.
They'll tell us about the Harbinger soon enough. You'll see.
So the wardens might already know what he is. That's the Knight of Embers.
You're all useless and weak. I should burn your flesh from your bones.
Sounds lovely.
I sent those fools to bring me the Harbinger, and instead they come back with whimpering wardens. Pathetic.
She's pretty.
You there. You're new. Can you follow orders, courtier?
Me? Yes, ma'am. My lady?
Then you're in charge. Make these wretched wardens talk. Do whatever it takes. Hit them so hard the pale tree can feel it. They will tell me where to find the Harbinger, or they will die feeding nightmare with their agony.
My lady knight, may I ask, what is a Harbinger?
He is the pale tree's doom, and nightmare's vindication. He is my dark hunt. When I find him, all will be made clear. Now go!
Yes, lead the way, Courtney.
Get out of our way. We've started this task. We'll finish it.
That must be where they're holding the wardens.
I sent those fools to bring me the Harbinger, and instead they come back with whimpering wardens. Pathetic. You there.
What? Why did it play again?
Yes. Lead the way, Courtney.
Get
Right
out
in
of
here.
our way. We started this task.
Ready yourself. Then coming back. This may be our only chance to escape.
Wait, Captain Vanya. Do you see what I see?
By the pale trees, Western Mallet. What are you doing here? Wait. Don't waste time answering. Just get us out.
So my game might have glitched a little. Maybe. For some odd reason. Okay, I was about to say, for a minute it didn't seem like my attacks were doing anything, which was terrifying. Okay, so Pale Tree's Doom. Like, the Pale Tree, like I said, that's where all Sylvari come from. So the fact that there was an image of, you know, someone or something that could kill the Pale Tree, you know, that's a terrifying prospect. You know, because the Pale Tree, I mean, her roots spread all through freaking Tyria. So, alright. So now the wardens
must
are
be where
free.
they're holding the wardens.
And now we just have to get out, but I have to heal first. So, I can probably bang that by the end of this, we'll have to fight that Ember Knight or whatever. She is cool looking though, I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, so the reason they wanted him is because they want to...
Stay close to each other. Take any weapons you find. Malik, Valiant, thank you.
Uh-huh. But yeah, no, the Nightmare Court, their whole deal is that they want to infect the Pale Tree with Nightmare. And like I was saying before, I don't know, I forget the ins and outs. But they claim that the Nightmare is liberation, you know, it's freedom. Whereas the Pale Tree makes slaves of Sylvari, you know, like, in a sense, they actually have, they're actually doing what they feel is best for Sylvari, but obviously, you know, the way it sounds toxic, it sounds hurtful, but the people that are running the Nightmare Court, they just see it as realistic. You know, it's kind of like how the Soundless, they just don't want to listen to any of it. You know, they don't want to be a part of any of it. When it comes to listening to the Pale Tree, hearing the teachings, you know, they disconnect themselves from all of it so that, you know, they don't really have a sway either way. I don't know how I would feel if I was, you know, force-fed information my entire creation only to awake and find out that I had some purpose to fulfill. And not everybody has a purpose, you know, and that's what the Nightmare Court kind of finds, you know, in a sense I think they find disturbing, is that there are those that are called to greatness and then the rest are kind of like left in the dust. Because I remember at some point, you know, Fallon, who runs the Nightmare Court, you know, was talking about how, you know, the Nightmare Court is equal. All Sylvari are the same in Nightmare, you know. But I could be mistaken. Like I said, I don't know much about the Nightmare Court. I really haven't played many Sylvari, so this is all a new experience for me. I have another Sylvari, but I don't even think I started her story yet. I might have, but I don't think I did. Because I think I was waiting until she was level 80 to go through it.
Hurry! Let's get out of here.
Well, you know, I've been working on it, but there's a lot of Nightmare Court people. By the end of this, we are definitely going to be at least level 23, and then we're going to have to go through and complete the map.
Suffer and die.
I will avenge you.
Oof. Okay, the veteran's down. That's the hard part. Always when you fight, it's always the veterans that, you know, you want to take out the minions first, but sometimes you just have to take out that veteran first. Alright, so this should be our exit. We should be good to go. We should be free. But I have a feeling we're going to get stopped by that knight.
I owed these wardens my life. You, Valiant, you risked yourself to save my friends, even though you've never met them. Why?
Because we are all Sylvari. We all follow the dream. Can't you feel that we are related?
Feel it? No, I feel nothing, Valiant. Only a great sense of distance and loss.
You've been too long from the Pale Tree, that's all. When you return, she will heal your lost memory. Come back with me to the Grove, you'll see.
I hope you are right. I want to hear more about this dream. If your friends can help me, then I will meet with them.
Make your way south to the great tree near the shore. I will meet you there. We'll get to the bottom of this mystery, I promise.
I owe you so much. A million thanks.
I don't know, I kind of worry taking him to the Pale Tree because, like, my only other theory is that what if his body was what was taken from the tree? Like, say, I know that they awaken from pods, so what if his pod was severed from the tree, taken somewhere else, raised away from the dream, and then tainted so that when he came back to the tree, he might actually try and destroy it? Because there's a couple times where the Pale Tree, you know, does almost get destroyed. So it's like I'm kind of concerned, to say the least. So where are we going? We're going back to the Grove. So right here. At least when we go back to the Grove, we don't have to worry about having like map completion or anything like that. I feel like this will be the final chapter, though. Usually within a story mission, you do like 4 or 5 mini missions, and that's what will take you up to the next level of story missions, where you have to be level 30. Well, in this case, level 30. But where you need to be 10 levels higher. So that's usually how that goes. About 4 or 5 missions. It'll end with some grand finale. Use the stairs. Ha! I don't use stairs. That's funny. Where am I going, though? Where am I going? I said to use stairs. But where am I going? Oh, I still have to go down? Okay. I don't use stairs. Ever since the gliders, like, I never use stairs. I hated to use the stairs anyways. I would jump straight down into the pond. Like, it's not fun using stairs. So where am I going, though? For reals. Oh, right here. Okay. I was getting concerned. Alright, so we are done with this story mission. And this time we have to travel to an isle to meet Kaith and Malik. But we're not going to do that right now. Instead, we are most likely going to do that in the next episode. So, but we are moving along. Let's see. We can actually check out our story journal and see where we are. Story journal. There we go. We are currently in the Teachings of Ventari. And this shows everything that we've done so far. This is what I really like about it. Like, if we go here, we can go to Following the Dream, right? And it showed us everything that we did as far as chapters. It even gives us a timeline of when this is. The Teachings of Ventari, we're still in the same year. Scarlet's War, we can see that like a year has passed. You know, Living World Season 2. You know, another year. Heart of Thorns, another year. So even though these things, you know, seem like they're happening, like, all at once, like, years are passing, right? So it's not actually happening all at once. But look at all this content, you know? Like, look at all these things that you can do. Now, like I said before, the stuff that we're doing right now, this is in the free-to-play part of the game, the My Story. And as we unlock more story, like, this will get really freaking long. Like, you've no idea how many things. We haven't even scratched the surface of our main story. And then after that, we'll do a recap of Scarlet's War. You know, we'll start Living World Season 2. You do have to buy Living World. You do have to buy Heart of Thorns. You do have to buy Path of Fire. But honestly, I mean, seeing how much content you get, seeing how much more that you get to do, it unlocks new maps, new things like the gliders, new things like the mounts. Like, how could you not want to buy them? I mean, especially since they're only like $20. You know, WoW expansions can cost anywhere from like $40 to $60 a piece, you know, but you're paying $20 for all that content, and it's like, I love World of Warcraft, do not get me wrong, I think it's fantastic, but, you know, my wallet does not, you know, you're already paying $15 a month for a subscription to play this MMO, you know, this one doesn't require you to pay a subscription, you know, and then it also has fantastic expansions, but they only cost $20 versus, you know, $60. So, I mean, definitely if you're someone that doesn't really have a lot of money to throw, you know, Guild Wars 2 is great, you know, very addicting, very fun. But as I've said before, though, when it comes to Guild Wars 2, you know, it's called Guild Wars for a reason. You know, the game's all about finding people to play with, you know, it's about finding an active guild to do events with, to run dungeons, you know, to run fractals and raids. I've heard so many people that basically say, well, what's the point of playing this game, you know? What's the point of doing this, that, and the other thing? Because I have, you know, I've always played solo. And it's like, okay, yes, this game can be played solo, but you're not going to get as much out of it if you do play solo. And as I've mentioned before, this is a game you really got to put effort into. You know, you got to make the effort to find a guild, you got to make the effort to make friends, you've got to make the effort to really make this an adventure for yourself. And when you do, this game is highly worth it. So, we're heading into Lion's Arch. Time for a fancy cinematic once it finally plays. So, those of you coming into the game now, just a little fun fact, those of you now, as of 2018, you will all get this cinematic. And there's a reason. It's because after Scarlet's War, the original Lion's Arch was destroyed. And this is the new Lion's Arch. So the city was completely rebuilt. And it's gorgeous. But yeah, so you always get this, this cinematic. I mean, I could skip it, but why would I, you know? I love the octopus building. It's the bank, and it's fantastic. And then they have a starfish building, they have a lobster building. I think it's awesome. You can definitely tell who built what as far as the races go, because their architecture is so different. Show the lobster building! So there you have it, that's Lion's Arch. But I guess we're heading in this direction now, which makes no sense, but okay. So, I guess we're done here for this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Next time, I will have leveled up a little bit. I think I'm going to do some map completion on the 2 maps, just to get a little bit of a jump. And I will definitely see you next time when we go meet Malik and Keith at Venlinvale. So anyways, thanks so much for tuning in, and as always, I will see you all in the next one. So, ciao you guys.